What's going on, everybody? I hope you're all well, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make a teriyaki beef steak. This video is part 4 of my teriyaki series, where I create different dishes using a homemade teriyaki sauce. And if you haven't seen that video, I'll make sure I leave a link in the description below. Here I have a Scotch fillet steak that's about 1.5 inches thick. Scotch fillet is a ribeye without the bone. It has a nice amount of fat marbling, resulting in a juicy, tender steak. The steaks that I choose to use for this recipe are Striploin, Rump, T-bone and Scotch fillet. We're going to give this a nice amount of seasoning with sea salt, but not too much, as teriyaki sauce has quite a bit of salt in it from the soy sauce, and some cracked black pepper. Flip that over and season the other side. Then rub the meat onto the board to pick up any seasoning that may be left over. When cooking steaks, you want to make sure to remove it from the fridge 20 minutes before you're going to cook it. The reason being is we want the meat to cook evenly from edge to center, therefore the closer it is to the final eating temperature, the more evenly it will cook. Place a large skillet or cast iron pan onto your stovetop, place it onto a high heat and allow the pan to get really nice and hot. Add in 2 tablespoons of olive oil and just swirl that around. And you'll know that the pan and the olive oil are hot, as you'll start seeing the oil create sort of like a wavy effect. Place in your steak facing away from you. This way we won't have hot oil splash back at us, and I can assure you that is not a nice feeling. We're going to cook this for 1.5 minutes on the first side to achieve a nice golden crust. Flip it over and cook this for a further 45 seconds. And here you can see the nice crust, and this is going to lock in all of those juices and flavours. After 45 seconds, add in 1/4 cup or 60 milliliters of our homemade teriyaki sauce, and make sure to be careful of the steam and any oil that may spit up, and cook this for a remaining 45 seconds. Cooking a steak is all about touch and feel. The softer it is, the less it's cooked, and the firmer it is, the more it's cooked. A good little trick is to use your thumb and your 4 fingers. You have rare, medium, medium well, and well done. We're then going to flip this a few times to allow the glaze to evenly coat our steak, or alternatively you can baste the sauce over the top. Then after the steak has been in the pan for a total of 3 minutes, remove it from the pan and place it onto a plate to rest, and this will allow all the juices time to redistribute and to lock in. And I'll also make sure to leave all the cooking temperatures in the description below. Whilst the steak is resting, we're going to reduce the teriyaki sauce for about 30 to 40 seconds. If your sauce has already gotten too thick, you can add a little bit more teriyaki to thin it out, and if your sauce is too thin, just keep it over the heat until your desired consistency. And it should be the consistency of maple syrup. And then once it's reduced, remove it from the heat. Our steak has been resting for 5 minutes now, and you can see how much of the juices have come out of this. And this is the reason why we rest, so this isn't in a pool on our plate. And instead of discarding the juices, add this into the teriyaki sauce and it will add amazing flavour. Using a sharp knife, let's thinly slice this beauty open. And that right there is perfect medium rare. Transfer this to a plate. And then pour over our rich teriyaki glaze. Let's give this a taste. That is so good. It's sweet, salty, juicy, and extremely tender. The teriyaki sauce adds delicious richness that really enhances the flavour of that steak. And to serve this, you can put it over rice, put it into a ramen, serve it with vegetables, or you can eat this all on its own. You seriously have to try this.